Some rappers don't just rap about sliding, they actually get back. In drill, disrespect can get you famous, but get back gets you feared. We're talking about the ones who didn't wait on karma or the cops. They saw their homies get dropped, and they made the block feel it. From Dirk putting money on heads, to Bloodhound Q50 catching their ops lacking at funerals, these rappers didn't just talk revenge, they lived it. So stay with me as we cover drill rappers who got get back. Q50 gets get back for Lil Jeff. Lil Jeff was a savage from the Bloodhound crew, known for being reckless but respected. He slid down on Trap City's block chasing one of their members, Trap City Glenn. But during the chase, he got hit up by Trap City Rob and left dead in the street. His name rang bells, and his death shook the whole crew. But what made it even crazier was the reason the war between Bloodhound and Trap City even started in the first place. It wasn't over a body or a diss track. It all began when Lil Jeff borrowed a chain from Trap City Carter and didn't bring it back. In a resurfaced video, you can see Lil Jeff driving a striker rocking Trap City Carter's chain. Trap City felt disrespected. They wanted the chain back. Jeff didn't give it back. Tension started building from there.
You know you got somebody that you call your homie, you probably just met, and you think he your homie, nigga do some little snake shit type shit and backstab him. That's what brung all this shit apart. Snake somebody for some type of materialistic some shit that anybody can get snake them for materialistic things, and there's blood behind that. Them motherfuckers in Africa.
Jeff was known for being wild with his words and actions. He was featured on Lil Scoom's song, Running with Gravediggers, where he seemed to reference his enemies directly. One of the most infamous bars goes, "Bitch, we really in the trenches. If he fall, we overkill him. Kill him all. Don't leave no witness." Fans have speculated that this line was directed at Trap City, even though it was never confirmed. Either way, it showed how deep Jeff was in the trenches. But Lil Jeff's reign didn't last for long. Lil Jeff hit another mission, this time pulling up to the heart of Trap City's block. He hopped out and spotted Trap City Glenn, the one in the yellow shorts, making a run for it. Glenn dipped inside the crib for cover. Jeff chased him straight up the porch, but as soon as he got to the steps, Trap City Rob came out blasting. That's where Lil Jeff's run in the trenches came to an end. After Jeff's death, the get back didn't take long. Bloodhound members were out for revenge. Rumors started flying that Q50, one of Jeff's closest homies in Bloodhound, was behind the retaliation. No one knows for sure if Q50 did it, but the streets think he was involved. Trap City members did a hood vlog where Trap City members began mocking Lil Jeff's death by reenacting he fell on the porch after being shot by Rob. Trap City Carter ended up dead shortly after Jeff's killing, and it didn't stop there. At Carter's funeral, another shooting went down. Carter's sister was gunned down at the service. The disrespect was loud. This wasn't just about revenge, it was a message. You take one of ours, we'll take yours, and then some. It showed that Bloodhound wasn't playing. Bloodhound Q50 later went on Instagram Live and dissed Trap City, saying they got back, and that Trap City needs to come get it back in blood.
Yeah, I'm getting niggas about we ran folks deep in the rack. On the way back, I had to catch us a hat. Trap City down till they ass get back. I'm talking about cause his ass a pack, he should never lack. I heard his ass call photos of dome, get called back, you won't make it back home. Caught a traffic looking down at his phone. Lil Pooh did Z, now Lil Pooh gone, nigga. Lil Pooh did Z, now Lil Pooh gone.
Q50 and Lil Jeff had real history. They were both from the same side, and Jeff used to mention Q50 in tracks. In Lil Jeff's song Ah, he said, "A slimy dude, I'll walk you down with Q50, that's my round." Their bond was known in the streets. That's why when Jeff died, all eyes were on Q50. Even though no one can prove he pulled the trigger, his name was tied to every retaliation move after Jeff's murder. Before all this went down, Bloodhound had been moving strategically. Jeff and Q50 had been building a name together. In multiple Instagram lives, they showed off their lifestyle, stacks of money, and chains. But under all that flexing, there was war brewing. Trap City had been quiet, but after Jeff took that chain and didn't return it, the beef got personal. That wasn't just a chain, it was respect. Once Jeff got dropped, the streets expected chaos. The Bloodhounds didn't disappoint. They hit back quickly. Carter was the first to go. And what made it worse was that Carter wasn't even moving like he was ready for war. He got caught lacking. Q50 and Jeff were more than just gang members. They were like brothers in this. That's why the retaliation was so heavy. Even if Q50 didn't personally shoot anyone, his name will always be tied to the Get Back. In drill culture, that matters. The legend of Bloodhound Lil Jeff and Q50 is written in blood and steel. 051 Melly gets Get Back for 051 Zico. Everyone in Chicago knew about 051 Zico. He was a respected figure in the 051 Money Gang and close to one of the city's most feared hitters, 051 Melly. When Zico was murdered by a member of THF, it wasn't just a loss for the gang, it was personal for Melly. Before Zico got killed, Melly was still respected in the streets, but his name wasn't ringing bells like it would soon. He came up in the Calumet buildings and later moved to 59th and Calumet with his family. Surrounded by gang members, Melly grew up in the streets. His stepfather, Jerome Golden, was a convicted BD doing life for 4 murders. Melly had uncles and cousins tied to sets like MUBU and NLMB, so he had ties all over. But the one that mattered most? His bond with Zico. The two got tight in high school, and Zico brought Melly deeper into the 051 Money Gang. 051 wasn't your average set. It had members from BDs, Black P Stones, Mickey Cobras, a mix of everything. Melly originally claimed BD, but his loyalty to Zico and the 051 crew meant he started going against his own kind. That's why people started calling him a renegade BD. He wasn't scared to go to war with anyone, even if it meant sliding on sets he used to be part of. Zico's death was the trigger. A THF member killed Zico, and after that, Melly wasn't the same. He turned up heavy. People say it was like a switch flipped. This wasn't about street politics anymore. This was Get Back. In 2010, Melly allegedly got revenge for Zico. The details are scarce, but word was that Melly hit a THF member not long after Zico's murder. The hit marked the beginning of a full-blown war between 051 and T, but it didn't stop there. In the fallout of Zico's death, another 051 member named T Streets was killed, this time by M Thang from 600. That made things even worse. Now Melly had beef with 600 too. He and 051 Kiddo allegedly slid and shot 600 Shaq on the 5900 block of Calumet. This retaliation kept the cycle going. Melly was getting his get back in pieces, stacking bodies one by one. Melly wasn't just wild, he was strategic. People in the street said he moved like a chess player, always 3 steps ahead. He knew where his ops stayed, who they were with, what times they moved. He'd stalk social media to watch their stories and posts, then strike when they least expected it. That's how 600 Shaq got hit, and it wouldn't be the last time Melly showed how calculated he was. After Shaq got hit, the BDs tried to respond. They killed Fats, a 14-year-old from 051 who was close to Melly. That death took a toll. Melly was already cold-hearted, but this made him even more of a savage. 051 renamed the set Fats World to honor the fallen. But that name wasn't just for respect, it was a call for revenge. Melly and Kiddo didn't waste time. They started targeting 600 Heavy. 600 Tricks was the next to go. He was caught lacking in his car in Washington Park. Melly wasn't playing. Then came L.A. Capone. A witness said Tricks, C-Die, and L.A. Capone were all connected to Fats' murder. Not long after that, L.A. Capone was killed outside a studio. He was one of the biggest names from 600, and his death was a major blow. That was more get back for Zico and Fats. Then came Lil Mark. He dropped No Competition, a diss track where he called out nearly every major BD set. He rapped, Baldy Pack, Mosky Pack, Tasky Pack, Lil Rob Pack, Wake Up Ate a Bowl of Tricks, while I was blowing on D-Thang, riding down to Steve Drive, think I'm finna OD, took a trip to Lay. 3 days later, he was dead. They caught him at a bus stop, but the disrespect didn't stop. BDs mocked Mark's death, even shooting videos at the exact bus stop he died at. Lil Durk himself filmed a clip there.
Bus stop, man. Hey, this bus stop right here, though. This is a real famous place. You hear me? This is a real famous place, big. Hey, this bus stop, this is a real famous place, big. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Free my nigga team. God fucking rock, man. Gage.
Melly took that personally. Mark was one of his guys. So when he saw Durk's cousin Nusky sitting in a parked car, he allegedly made his move. Nusky was just signed to OTF and had a hit song. He was about to blow. but he never got the chance. Melly allegedly killed him in broad daylight. That should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. Months later, Durk's manager Chino was killed in almost the exact same way, sitting in a parked car. Before he died, Chino appeared in a video filmed at Lil Mark's bus stop. The disrespect was full circle. Melly allegedly got Chino too. After that, Melly got on Instagram and said he was eating a Chino burger, mocking the death. His homie Mubu Crump joined in, pulling up to the spot Chino died and ordering a fake burger, then tossing it out in disrespect. It was one of the most disrespectful moments in drill history. Play B-roll from 200. But this made Melly a target. Durk and his crew wanted him gone. There were rumors a bag was placed on Melly's head. Soon after, Melly got shot in the head and foot. He survived, but it proved he wasn't invincible. His homie Arrow, who was also hit, got revenge fast, sliding on THF Raheem. Raheem was close to Duck and Brick, but they understood. An op is an op. Raheem's death opened the door for more drama. Melly was now being hunted by both THF and BDs. He got hit again at a party with Crump. Crump died. Melly survived another headshot. It didn't matter how many lives Melly escaped, he kept sliding. When Bankroll Q from 051 died, Melly got get back again. But his list of enemies was long. Even though he got his revenge for Zico, Fats, and Bankroll Q, the streets wanted payback for everything he did. Eventually, a dice game with 007 Nate from TW would lead to Melly's downfall. After Melly shot up Nate's crib with his baby and BM inside, it was personal. Melly showed up to a party hosted by Jero and FBG. Knowing TW might pull up, he didn't care. 007 Nate caught him slipping and allegedly shot Melly in front of a house full of people. That was the end of 051 Melly, one of the deadliest to ever do it. Lil Durk gets get back for Von. Lil Durk and King Von were brothers in arms, both from the south side of Chicago and deeply tied into the BD, Black Disciples. Their loyalty ran deep, and when King Von was tragically killed in Atlanta after a brawl with Quando Rondo turned fatal, the streets buzzed with one question: would Durk slide for Von? At first, fans questioned if he would do anything at all, but slowly, the chessboard started to shift, and signs of get back began to appear, allegedly ordered by Durk himself. Back in the day, Quando Rondo and Lil Durk actually had a solid relationship. They collaborated on tracks, showed love to each other, and Quando even dissed Von's ops from 63rd in a show of loyalty.
Hey, come on, right now, tee up. 63rd. That's how we coming. I'm pulling up.
You know, we on 64th. I don't know nothing about that shit.
We got most of this bitch.
Hey, we on 64th with this shit.
I don't get your man, your teeth shining like a motherfucker on this bitch. Hold on, get your teeth in that bitch. Damn.
Y'all niggas steal some from a nigga. Y'all stealing ass niggas. Y'all niggas steal some. I'm saying though, they got 63rd, some dirty ass niggas, man. Y'all niggas talking about, man. I'm talking about, hey, listen, though, man, the nigga on 64th, and y'all 63rd niggas over there smoking crack and shit.
Hey, we bump heads. I'm gonna feed.
But everything changed once NBA YoungBoy started beefing with King Von. Von and YoungBoy's beef grew out of disrespect on Instagram and the streets, with both artists trading subliminal shots, lyrics, and online antics. King Von can be seen calling out YoungBoy for having cap in his raps.
Bullets through your neck in the club, screaming out who want it. Fill my package with bags. I got some pounds on the couch, the chopper right by the fence. I just got
ain't about shit. What? Oh, yo, skinny ass, so I bet that bitch an ass. Fuck YoungBoy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
You talking crazy on this man.
Oh yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh!
On his ass now.
On his
All that
ass.
cap. You got cap in your raps.
Go straight, boss. Don't hit the white lady.
You got cap in your raps.
Park right here. Stop. 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 No. We presidential park.
It intensified when Von was seen with YoungBoy's baby mama, Jania. and Youngboy clapped back with disrespectful posts and lyrics that made it clear the situation was no longer just music. Quando, being Youngboy's artist and close associate, was caught in the middle. Things boiled over the night King Von spotted Quando outside an Atlanta club and walked up to him swinging. Seconds later, Quando's homie Lil Tim allegedly pulled the trigger that ended Von's life. That night lit a fuse in Durk. Fans immediately flooded social media asking when he was going to slide for Von. At first, the situation seemed calm. Durk didn't say much, but he made moves in silence. Quando went on tour, and while performing in Georgia, his crew was shot at. One of his homies got hit in the hand, and rumors quickly spread that the shooters were tied to OTF. Right after that, Durk dropped the track Still Running, rapping, "Must be out of your mind, you think we ain't spinning for bro? We spinning for sure. Had a switch on me, not a 38 dummy. Boy, we spinning for ghosts." He made it clear, whatever was going down was for Von. While Quando dissed on End of Story, mocking Von's death and yelling self-defense when he rapped, "Blood on your brother on the ground, go pick your mans up, damn right, we screaming self-defense, he should have never put his hands on me." Durk responded in lyrics, not interviews. It became a cold war in the streets and the booth. Months after that shooting, Quando was spotted again, this time in Los Angeles. He was with his sister and his cousin Lil Pab. As they stopped at a gas station, a car pulled up. Shooters hopped out and started firing. Quando survived. Lil Pab didn't. A video circulated of Quando yelling, "No," over his cousin's body. The clip went viral. The pain was visible. On the track Long Live Pab, Quando explained, "The only reason that I screamed out no, I seen my dead. They laughed at me and made a joke, but never seen a bled." That shooting was no accident. The streets said OTF was behind it. Quando himself hinted at knowing who was responsible but didn't name names. That moment marked a shift. Quando stopped claiming his flag and started distancing himself from the beef, but the damage was done. While the internet kept speculating if Durk really slid, he continued to drop music with heavy bars hinting at revenge. On War Bout It, he said, "I just swapped some Glocks for 2, 3 of them blocks. Ain't let a round off and then heard they man scream they gotta turn the sound off." He took it a step further on Same Side, mocking Quando directly. "Y'all laugh when bro died. When your bro died, turned to a crybaby, jumped out on both sides with a 4.5. That boy can't hide. Can he?" At this point, everyone knew who he was talking about. He even sampled Quando crying after Pab died on an unreleased track, a disrespect few dared to go to. Durk made it a mission. Even in interviews, he hinted that the slide for Von narrative was dead because action had already been taken. But then the situation got legal. In 2024, police arrested multiple OTF affiliates allegedly involved in the LA shooting that killed Lil Pab. Not long after, they hit Durk with conspiracy charges, claiming he financed the hit. When feds closed in, Durk reportedly tried to flee the country, but got caught at the airport. That decision tied him directly to the shooting in the eyes of law enforcement. Swag De Niro gets get back for Lil Jojo. Swag De Niro, born John Coleman Jr., was the older brother of Lil Jojo, one of the most well-known GD rappers to come out of the South Side. Jojo's sudden death didn't just shake the streets, it lit a fire in Swag De Niro that changed everything. Jojo was only 18 years old when he was gunned down in a drive-by shooting on the South Side while riding on the back pegs of his friend's bike. The whole city knew it wasn't random, and Swag De Niro made it clear that he wasn't going to let his little brother's death slide. The beef that led to Jojo's murder was already heating up. It started when Jojo dissed Lil Durk and Lil Reese. Their cliques were tied to the BDs, also known as Black Disciples. Jojo was a GD, or Gangster Disciple, from Brick Squad, a set based out of 69th and Normal. When Jojo posted a video confronting Lil Reese in person, it went viral fast. In the clip, Jojo and his crew pulled up on Reese, yelling out threats before speeding off. Reese shouted back, "I'ma kill you!" loud enough for the camera to catch it. Just weeks later, Jojo was dead. Chicago PD said Jojo was the victim of a targeted drive-by shooting. It happened near 69th and Princeton, a BD-heavy area. But on the streets, nobody needed a police statement to know what went down. And while the cops never made an arrest, rumors pointed at multiple possible suspects. One name that kept coming up was Keith Bonds, a known BD affiliated with Lamron, who had been seen mocking JoJo's death online. Not long after Keiki made that post, he ended up dead himself. Keiki was killed on Normal Boulevard, not far from JoJo's own territory. The way it went down and the timing made it feel like retaliation. Everyone on the streets believed it was Get Back, and Swag Dinero added fuel to the fire with a tweet in 2013. He tweeted, "Even the ops know the who took my bro ain't walking this earth no more." The streets knew what Swag was implying. Whether he pulled the trigger himself or had ties to those who did, the energy shifted after Kiki's death. It was the start of something way bigger. JoJo's death didn't just spark a feud between a few sets. It launched one of the longest and deadliest wars in modern Chirac history between the GDs and BDs. Even while grieving, Swag Dinero was moving. He kept dropping music and paying tribute to JoJo in his tracks. But the heat was getting closer. At JoJo's own funeral, Swag Dinero was arrested by police. They claimed he had a weapon in his waistband. The funeral turned into a media frenzy, with footage showing police pushing through crowds and taking Swag away. The city watched as a brother tried to mourn while being targeted by both the ops and the law. After getting locked for gun possession tied to one of his music videos, Swag Dinero spent time behind bars. But even that didn't stop him. He got out and went straight back to the studio, using his platform to keep JoJo's name alive and call out the BDs. He released the track At Yo Neck. He rapped, "For my family I go crazy, cause that's my real love, my squad with whatever. Disrespect, we tear them up, and it's 2 G's all on my belt. Louis 13 cause it's the best, and we don't love none of these bitches, cause it's not good for your health. I think I lost my mind, smoking all this dope." But Swag wasn't just on diss tracks. He was active. More BDs started getting dropped after JoJo's death, and although nothing was ever confirmed, people assumed Swag Dinero was part of the retaliation. He wasn't moving alone. JoJo World, a GD movement created in his brother's honor, started gaining traction. JoJo World wasn't just a set, it became a movement that kept dissing OTF and GBE publicly, on songs and in the streets. Young Pappy gets Get Back for Pooh Bear. Young Pappy was known in the Chicago drill scene for his raw energy, lyrical aggression, and for never backing down from smoke. But behind all the music and street politics was a moment that shaped his whole path. In 2012, his close friend and fellow gang member Anton Sanders, better known as Pooh Bear, was gunned down in the streets of Chicago. Pooh Bear was part of the Insane Cutthroat Gangsters, a set that later evolved into what the world came to know as PBG, Pooh Bear Gang. His death wasn't just a loss to the streets, it was personal to Pappy. It lit a fuse. The streets whispered that Dante Simmons, a known member of Loke City, was the shooter. But no arrest was ever made. No justice came from the system. But the same gun that killed Pooh Bear ended up killing Simmons. That wasn't a coincidence. It was a message. Pappy didn't let the pressure slide. After Pooh Bear's death, Pappy started pushing harder than ever. He wasn't just rapping to go viral, he was rapping to make his enemies bleed. His lyrics got darker, more targeted, and behind the bars, the street politics got deadlier. Everyone knew he wasn't going to let Pooh Bear's death sit unanswered. In his track Afterlife, he rapped, "Lost my Pooh Bear to the game, I seen Pain Jack. Same you hanging with, same I aim at, body bagging." Swag Dinero makes it clear he wants Get Back by turning his pain into a warning. He's aiming at the same people his enemies hang with. Lines like body bag show he's ready to retaliate for the loss of Pooh Bear. But the alleged real Get Back didn't come from a diss track, it came from a body. Glenford Johnson, better known on the streets as Munchie, was one of Loke City's high-ranking members, the same street where Pooh Bear got killed. Pappy allegedly helped make sure Munchie died on that same block. The symbolism wasn't lost on anyone. Killing one of their top members in the exact location Pooh Bear was dropped was more than just Get Back. Young Pappy confirms it in Angels, where he raps, "Put the munchie in the air, put the munchie in the air. How you feel up there? You can scream as loud as you want, as loud as you can. Ain't nobody gone here." Young Pappy is mocking the death of Munchie, saying, "Put the munchie in the air," like he's a pack, showing clear disrespect and implying he got Get Back for Pooh Bear. The line about Munchie screaming but no one hearing him suggests he was left to die alone, reinforcing that this was retaliation. Pappy wasn't one to hide behind subliminals. He would name names, call out sets, and taunt dead ops in his music with no filter. But for Pooh Bear, the retaliation came with precision. Munchie's death wasn't random, it was calculated, and it sent the city into another spiral of violence. After Munchie got hit, Loke City started applying even more pressure back. Shootings between PBG and their rivals increased, and suddenly everyone connected to either side was a target. Even though no one from PBG was ever officially charged for Munchie's murder, the streets linked it straight back to Pooh Bear's name and Young Pappy's influence. They weren't just dissing in songs, they were retaliating with real consequences.